Today we're going to be working on this RCA Victor. RCA Victor model 1 EMP-2K. Ow, my finger. It's in really good condition. This came from Farmark. I believe this record player came out in 1960. Definitely could use some lubrication. It's got that little bit of a warble. Now Farmark told me this tone arm is not original, which it definitely isn't. The original one would have had like these little squares in it, little square design right here. They replaced these with Japanese tone arms, weirdly, in the 60s. I guess there was something wrong with the RCA ones where they would crack. Crack-o-matic, probably, I don't know. This is a nice record player. It's got 78, 45, 33, and 16 RPM. What more could you want? That's basically the whole shebang right there. It's got this nice, like mid-century, I forget what you call this, and I should know what this is, but I don't at the moment. The swirly mid-century modern atomic pattern, I'll call it that. So here's the cartridge. It's a flip cartridge, and I believe I have a bunch of these needles, so I can replace them because it's still a good cartridge. Does it actually play? Well, yes, it does. However, it's got some issues that we'll be addressing. So in the back of this record player, it's got a jack right here where you put a, this is the power cord off of my RCA sound tape cartridge player, so it works perfectly with this record player. And you just plug that in. Then you power it up. As you can see, power's on. It's got a bit of scratching. Turn up the volume. There we go. Got a little hum there. That's definitely a bit of a problem. And you can't adjust it, which means it's filter hum. That's just filter hum right there. If you can't adjust it, that means the filter capacitor's going out. There's AC getting into the DC line. So we'll play a little bit of Seberg mood music. Set that to 16. And we'll play a little bit of it. Definitely a noticeable bit of hum. So definitely needs some service. It doesn't sound the greatest either, which might actually be that cartridge. I think that cartridge might be going out. But yeah, we're gonna shut that off. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get this thing fixed. I got a party tonight. Okay, how do I open now? Oh, okay, there's screws on the side. There's 4 screws on the side of this. So 4 screws on each side. That's how you get into it. Oh yeah. Solid. Solid fucking specimen. I guess I'll use this screwdriver. So how's your day, you guys? My day, pretty good. I woke up at, 2 p.m. and Had to regulate the Accutron. Then I had to regulate this. Now this is running good. This is another video coming up because I got a different movement. That'll probably come up before this video. And we should be in now. Let's see here. It's supposed to just pop off or something. Wow, it's stuck on there. Damn thing's like built like a fucking tank. Okay, maybe we need a little persuasion here. Okay, it's coming up. There we go. Oh yeah, it's coming up. Oh yeah, here we go. Now you should come up. I need a bigger one. How about this? Will you work? Gotta open up like a fucking clamshell. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. Tiny little speaker, little tone arm wire. It's got a tube in it. I think it's a 50L6 amplifier tube, I think. And some people might hate me for doing this, but I like really work on my stuff. So I'll cut the wire there, and you'll see what I'll do later with that. So I believe it's a 50L6. I hate these sockets. These sockets suck. Such a pain in the ass to get out. Oh, that tube was loose. Let's see, are you a 50L6? 25L6, I'm mistaken. That thing is filthy. Look at that thing. That's a 25L6 instead of a 50L6. But look at it, it's fucking filthy, and it's got... I'm not going to describe what that smells like. Ew. I'm hoping that's just nicotine. Dirt. Dust bunny. Oh, it's not really that bad. Let's open up the chassis. Yeah, this tape is definitely not original, so this tone arm was definitely replaced with a newer one. Must have been because the old ones were so fragile they would break. They're probably made out of some kind of fragile plastic. Alright, let's open this up and see what's cooking. Really? There. Oh, okay. Oh, right off the bat. Bumble bomb. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. I never. Okay then. That's bent somehow. Okay. 2 bumble bombs and 1 wax. And a selenium rectifier, 250 microfarads. It's a really basic amplifier. Definitely can't add a 12EX7 to that, I don't think. Technically you probably could. It would have to be a separate thing right here probably. There's not enough room on that chassis. No way, Jose. Now I can turn up the heat in my iron. Now I could try out my new gadget, which is this. I found this in the trash. I found this in the trash right here. This is a Appellinus safety furnace. The original model 1500W. And it's actually a little mini space heater. And you could adjust the speed of it too, or you can make it auto or manual. I want it manual though, and I'll set it to 60. But yeah, this little thing works. Oh. Oh, okay. It works. You can use that as a... Yeah, because it sucks. So, theoretically, with lead solder, it should suck it out of my window. Maybe. We'll find out. It sucks in. Oh, okay. It sucks in. There. Alright, I'm going to measure one side of the electrolytic. Okay, there's our ripple. Section looks fine. That must be a good section. That's pretty good ripple. So that must be the good section. Alright, now let's measure the second section. So this is the 50 microfarad. Yeah, that's some pretty bad ripple. That's like 2 volts of ripple. So 2 times 10, he gave me this last bit of information because I was asking him how to read ripple on capacitors in amplifiers and tube circuits, and he told me set your probe to 10 times. He also told me to use a capacitor in series, but I don't really have to do that with this. And he told me to times, so 10 times 2, whatever I have it set to where I could read it, and that will give me how much voltage is going into the circuit, how much AC is getting into the DC circuit. So let's see if he was correct, because unfortunately most cases he'd be drunk, and sometimes I'd be trying to read a riddle from him. Like, he'll give me most of the information that'd be correct, but some of it would be incorrect, and I'd have to figure out what the correct answer would be, because he was a little intoxicated anyway. 2 times 10. So 20 volts AC of ripple. Either way, we gotta change this. I have a very crude diagram I made where all these go. Well, I made a conclusion. I think this thing's only meant for circuit boards. Okay, got that one out. Got that out. That's out now. One out. For now. Here we go. Alright, last one's out. Now I can get to the electrolytics. Ground. That's one. And that's one. Alright, capacitors. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yep. 0.1, 250 volt. Yep, that's good. This is 0.047. Good. What are you? 33. That's for the woolen sack. These are probably 47s. Yep, 47s. So these are our new 40 UF. These are 47s though. They'll work perfect for this. I'm going to put one here, strap that down with a zip tie. And I'm going to put one here. That'll do. Strip that. This was the last gift my uncle gave me, was this heated up old heat gun. That's my uncle for you. He would give me things that were broken but still worked, so it's the thought that counts. So here I am using it now and heat it all up, get it all nice and warm. So that's done. It looks pretty good. So that damn fume extractor thing works. Ooh. Solder that in. A little bit hot, but that'll just go right into there, like that. And there we go. Filter cap changed. There we are, and we'll just do that. Now we'll just put you into there. Is well, a bit too small. So we're gonna have to figure out something here. Looks good. I'm pleased with it. That goes there, that went there. Those are our two filters. Done. I'll worry about the selenium rectifier another time. I just want to see if it's gonna fire up. Alright, now we can measure a ripple. Oh, look at that. Perfect ripple. That's a lot better than what it was originally. Look at that. That's proper filtering. That doesn't look like AC. That looks like pretty good DC out of the circuit. So the filtering circuit is working excellent now. Button it up, and we're gonna service the turntable motor and the mechanics tomorrow. And then we're gonna clean it up, and then we're gonna present it. So see you tomorrow. Should have no hum. Well, we got no hum, so let's play this record first before I Oop. Yeah, that's 45.
Manischewitz Sales Bank ever in our big time to you. Big. Because Manischewitz is going all out. It's the advertisement that there's still real big time money making in store for you through the rest of this year.
Okay,
I say you gotta think big.
Okay, alright, I've heard enough. Thank goodness it's a fucking motor.
And the reason for this personal hello is to say thank you for the biggest knock in our history. Still real big-time money-making in store for you through the rest of this year. I say you gotta think big. Because Manischewitz is going all out to help you cash in on the tremendous potential of Manischewitz wines for gifts. Yeah. You'll be backed by the heaviest radio and TV.
45.
Greetings, friends. This is the Colonel. Howdy. This is partner. Well, how do you do? To make this your
Tone control doesn't work.
Ever. The director of Manischewitz Sales and Advertising, a man whose name has begun with wine.
Yeah, the tone control doesn't work anymore. Well, back to the drawing board. Oh, it works. Bitch. I think this capacitor's shorted. There we go. It appears that Chinesium part might have actually been the cause.
It's a man to tell you how you can make this your biggest holiday profit season ever. The director of Manischewitz Sales and Advertising, a man whose name has begun with wine since the day he was born, Lord Weiner.
well.
There's still real big-time money-making in store for you through the rest of this year. I say you gotta think big.
That was the problem.
Because Manischewitz is going all out.
That Chinesium part is bad.
Potential.
Well, 0.1's here. And it ain't reading it, so I'm gonna say that's probably open. It ain't reading it. Perfect. Now we can get a record on it. Here we go.
Friends, this is the Colonel. Howdy, this is partner. Well, how do you do? I'm Brooksy. There you have them, that popular TV trio, the three men of Manischewitz. And here's a man to tell you how you can make this your biggest holiday profit season ever. The director of Manischewitz Sales and Advertising, a man whose name has begun with wine since the day...
This was bad. The new part I bought for $1 was bad.
Hi. You know, it's a real pleasure to say hello to all
that ain't it. Here we are. Yeah, look at that.
Manischewitz salesman.
This was bad.
The reason for this personal hello is to say thank
I don't even think it's a 0.1 UF.
Ever in our...
Alright, that's done. Now we're going to service the turntable here. Oh, okay, that's fine. Alright, so take off that clip, and this should just slide right off, right? Yep, there it is. And there's our mechanism. Ooh, that wheel's cracked. I guess this is the company that made this record player mechanism. Alliance Genie. Definitely cracked, but we can get it going again. I'm going to put a drop of oil there and some grease on that rail. So I'm going to start with this E-clip and take off that. There's the wheel. It's actually not bad, and I don't see a divot on it. It's just cracking. so that can get cleaned. And here's the mechanism for it. There we go, and the motor just comes off at the bottom. I've serviced enough motors to know how to put them back together. This comes off. Oh, just like that. There's our rotor. I'm guessing that spring is just gonna have to stay the way it is. And that all comes off. And got a felt wick in there, which we'll clean. This doesn't seem to want to come off, but this spins fairly free. It's got a little miniature fan on it, little squirrel cage blower fins. I think that's what they call them. Now we're ready to give it a little oil. Gotta oil this felt pad. Remember folks, these things were designed to be fixed. You just oil the pads and it'll last another 50 years. That's good and soaked. So now this one goes through here, and this one goes through here, and so does this one. Just like that. Yep, just like that. And then oil this felt pad, which is very dry. This will go back on to there, like so. Goes there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and that goes there, and oh. And then this one went here. Oh, bitch. There. Now I can tighten these down. And these go in the bottom. Onto these. That's where the ball's gonna go on. The ball bearing, yes. Okay, that goes onto there. Remember to wear protection. we can begin on this wheel. Ooh, too much. Just run it through there and it'll clean up. This can go on. Okay, before I button this up, I want to take out this tube and clean it. That's better. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I think this tube actually might be bad. Look at that. The getter looks white, which means air has gotten in. So I'm going to test this tube real quick, and we're going to see if it's gone to air, because I think it has. Oh, look, 6049. This record player is from 1960. You can see it's definitely glowing. Weak. First, let's see what we can do with this case. It's dirty. Very dirty. Forgot I had this. I use this for cleaning the vinyl couch. Oh, okay, so this brush works good. Okay, shit. Well, I just found the brush that's gonna get all this shit off. Oh wow, look at that. Alright. We found the brush that's gonna clean this. Look at that. Jeez. Now. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, looks considerably better. Still needs a lot more scrubbing though. Alright, the case has cleaned up pretty good. Actually really good. So now I need to clean. These knobs have the plastic plague where they become chalky and dirty. I should be able to clean these though. Oh. Okay. Nice little elbow grease gets all that off. Now, this will clean up. Just need to scrub it. I figure we should test these old bubble bombs and this one wax capacitor and see how well they fared over 70 years. So this is a .047. Yellow, violet, orange, black. And I do remember that blue was 600 volts. That's a 600 volt line. 3 volts, 6 volts, 10 volts. Already at 10 volts, we have leakage. The eye is not moving. Yeah. This capacitor is leaky, and it's rated for 600 volts. You think that's good? No, it's not good. It's junk. Junk. Let's test this .0047 and see how it fares. 6 volts, 10 volts, 15 volts, 25 volts. Well, it's appearing it's leaky at 25 volts. And it is leaky at 25 volts. No good. Trash. Oh, but wait, what's this? A wax capacitor with waxy goodness. Coated in wax. 0.1 at 200 volt. Could it be still good? Highly doubtful. Surely it could be any better. I mean, it ain't seamless, but it's just packed with wax. Leakage. 6 volts. 10 volts. 15 volts. Okay. 25. Well, it seems to be at 25. That's the limit for these capacitors. Once they hit 25 volts, they basically don't. I mean, in the circuit that this was in, this was running at like 13 volts, which was for the tone pot. This went to the tone, and it worked. Unlike that Chinese capacitor that we replaced. In the trash it goes, and so was this one. So these cartridges, the needles on these were actually color coded, and I have a little diagram here of what each color code meant. 4 needles color codes. Red was 1 mil mono, yellow was 0.7 mil stereo, and green was for 78 RPM. So this needle is red, which means it's a 1 mil mono needle, and it'll play stereo records, but it isn't ideal to use it on stereo record. And again, everybody was playing stereo records on this thing. About it, but yeah, there's the red mark. I should probably change the needle on that. Let's see what I got in my stock. Yeah, here's my whole box of needles and cartridges. Well, looking on eBay, these are kind of expensive. I mean, I swear I had some of these though, and I don't. Stereo and mono. Damn, these things were $2.50, and now they're $10.95. And I swore I had some of these though. But yeah, well, for the time being, this cartridge, it works. It could definitely do with a replacing, because it's not really that sharp. Also could do with a cleaning too. I cleaned my needles and styluses with this Radio Shack branded cleaning fluid, stylus cleaning fluid. It's red, but it still works. Maybe it just needs a little cleaning. It smells a little bit like alcohol. Well, we have even more bigger problems. This cartridge, it's dead now. Like, this dead. There's output there, but no output here. Okay, so record player cartridges make an AC signal. Mess with the needle, it's supposed to make a... Oh, it's making something. This cartridge should put out... Well, it's putting out 1.5. Alright, I have undrilled the rivets, and there we go. These tiny little miniature wires on these posts that connect to the crystal. This is crystal, I guess. And they connect right onto these terminals right there on the crystal. And I don't think I can fix this. I don't think I can. Then again, it did have pretty good output before it failed. Well, the crystal broke. Yeah, there's no saving this. It's done, Jim. Oh, time to modify it. I'm gonna have to do this. Alright, I've done it. I put a new cartridge in and it works.
Hello there. I'm right here inside the record player under the dash. Guess this is the first time a record player ever went along with you on a test drive. Well, let me just point out a couple of things and we'll get started.
Remember this record. Actually, no, I do remember it. Oh my god, there's a coupon in here. Oh, look at that. A coupon from RCA Victor, Rockaway, New Jersey. And we will mail the album to you postcard. This offer expires December 31st, 1958. That has been in this album. Jeez. Well, found the correct needle. We just need to add a preamp stage, but I'm gonna do that later on today. I need a break to process how I'm gonna make this circuit. So I've been looking at the schematic here, and pin 8 is our cathode, and I'm gone to thinking 7.5 volts, that would probably go to the phono cartridge. It's the phono cartridge. Maybe if I add a 47 microfarad between pin 8 and ground, maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So it's supposed to be 7.5 and we're getting 7.1, which is a little bit concerning, but it is slowly rising. We'll see if it makes a difference. A little bit louder, so we can hear there's a little difference. So that's it without the capacitor connected, and this is it with the capacitor connected. That's better. I wonder how far I can go with that.
And of course, the story tunes the children love so well.
We got a responsibility to this strapping, fun-loving, britches-busting young bar club of a country. We got a responsibility to help it grow into the kind of nation the good Lord meant it to be. And if we right here in Congress wired up and showed we were the kind of men our friends and neighbors figured we was when they gave us their votes and sent us here, why, a bill like this would never live long enough to even get on our desk, let alone come to a vote. We'll vote it down, Davey!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add a preamp stage. There's no doubt about it. It's not enough. Alright, today's the day. It is June 21st at 6:52. And I'm gonna start tearing out this chassis and putting in a 7-pin tube socket with a 6AV6. Which will act as our preamp, because with the new cartridge I added, which only outputs like 0.1 to half a volt, the original one outputted 3 volts, which this amplifier didn't require this amplifier didn't require a preamp. So we have to add a preamp. So I'm gonna have to do some serious modifications to even get that to work. Because, preamp would be nice. And this is a nice enough record player that I'm going to add a preamp. It deserves it. Alright, so far I'm making pretty good progress with getting everything out. I got out the selenium rectifier and the filter can, which is dated 1960. I think I can technically fit this tube socket relatively snug. Alright, here we go. A nice clean slate to work on. And I can begin wiring in the new tube socket. I believe I got it all correct, but we must test to see if these filaments glow on these 2 tubes and if the motor runs. None of them are hot. So I did something wrong. Alright, back to the drawing board. Well, I figured out the problem. This wiring is definitely incorrect. There is not supposed to be a ground from here to here on that tube socket. Because V1, 6AT6, pin 3 of that tube is supposed to be grounded. Not pin 2. 1, 2, 3. That's got to get grounded. Alright, I corrected it. So everything's on pin 3 instead of pin 2. Hopefully I didn't do damage to the 6AV6. I don't think I did. And I removed the power wire from this terminal because it wasn't supposed to go there. It was supposed to go to chassis ground, so somehow I screwed that up. But now this should work. Oh, tube's lighting. Oh, fuck yeah, the tubes are lighting. There we go. Progress. Tube illumination. And we gotta run a motor. And, they're cold. Because there's no B+, so there's no load. Well, that's done. Now we can proceed with the rest of the circuit. Oh, I love my new old stock. Alright, here we go. I put it the right way. And we got 48 volts DC, 119 AC, yep. Alright, it's installed correctly. Now I can add the B+ capacitors. These B+ capacitors should ramp up the voltage to 140 at least. But we'll see. Alright, I got the circuit done. It looks pretty good. I mean, time to plug it in. 65. 102 volts. The B+ is rising, as it should. So far I see no... Oh, they're glowing. There they are. 142 volts so far. That's actually pretty good. That's acceptable. Nothing out of the cartridge. Nothing out of the speaker. Not a single thing. Okay, so I figured it out. I forgot to add the cathode resistor. So I put some leads on in circuit. This should hopefully bring the amp to life, because I think this is the only thing I forgot. So let's find out. Well, that came to life. That's too loud. Okay. It's hot. That tone's working too. Yeah, that's just feedback. That's just a bit of feedback, but yeah, that is definitely needed. Anyway, yeah, that's the output I've been looking for right there. That's loud now. Can't have it loud, or it'll start feedbacking. I wonder if I can. Time to solder in that part and maybe figure out if I can get rid of the back feeding. Putting a 0.047 to where the cartridge ground is. So on the schematic it says the cartridge is supposed to be on chassis ground, but here's the thing. It should actually be grounded to also circuit ground, because watch. I'm gonna boost the volume and we're gonna get some squealing. And then if I put this to ground, the sound goes away. Quiet and less hum. So that's gonna fix that. I need to make this permanent though. Alright, let's see how it is. Oh, plenty more. Yep, nice and quiet. No matter where I set the tone, no more squealing. The cartridge is actually grounded. Highway to hi-fi. Yeah, Wickers. That's still the original problem before the cartridge went bad, is that's caused by this speaker putting feedback in the cartridge.
Under the dash. Yes, this is the first time a record player ever went along with you on a test drive.
Plenty loud now.
Well, let me just point out a couple of things and we'll get started.
Beautiful.
See that little panel over there on your left? The one with the 4 buttons? That's it. Go ahead and push them. Neutral, low, drive, reverse. That's what they call push button.
Alright, so there's one more thing we still have to correct on this. This turntable is vibrating and it transmits that sound into the tone arm. Hear that? That's the motor. If you lift it, doesn't do it. Put it back down, it'll do it. So this is caused by the speaker backfeeding from the cartridge, and it's amplifying the motor sound, which is causing a backfeed loop. So we have to fix it, and I think what I'm going to have to do is put a rubber grommet on the tone arm post, and it should isolate it from the speaker. Because when this speaker vibrates, it's vibrating up here into the cartridge. Put a grommet at the bottom and one at the top. That should dampen the tone arm now, hopefully. So over there is our rubber grommet, as it should actually be isolating the tone arm from the speaker so it doesn't feed back. Let's see. Yep, that's working. So the feedback is gone. We cured that. Should definitely adjust the tone arm weight. Somewhere I have a skill to do that. Alright, time to weigh it. Oh well, the tone arm's 10 grams. And nowadays the record pressure should be 5 grams, so I'm going to correct that if I can. Alright, I moved up the spring one. Let's see if that lowered it. Nope, 10 grams. I moved that up more, and 9 grams. Well, this is a nice tone arm. I had to shorten the spring, and now I got it to 6 or 7, but it needed at 5 grams, so I need to make the spring a little smaller. Alright, I shortened the spring down a little bit more. Let's see if we got 5 grams. 6 grams. Well, it was 5 grams. There we go, 5 grams. This scale's stupid. Alright, 5 grams. Alright, 5 grams, that's not a record killer anymore. Let's see. It's not doing that thing anymore. Evidently it was too heavy. Now it ain't doing it. It sounds a lot better too. 100K?
This is Highway Hi-Fi, Chrysler's exclusive new development in
Yep, I have decided to go with a 68K. It gives you, the treble is a whole lot more, holy fuck, it's a whole lot clearer. But it doesn't do the feedback anymore. I've lowered its sensitivity, so that'll do. I decided on a 68K ohm resistor across the pickup cartridge. It prevents the backfeeding issue. It basically lowers the sensitivity of the cartridge. Now it's back to, well, original factory spec and not like blasting loud, about to blow out the speaker. Hard style. But let's button this up and we're done basically.